Listen, you all know mortgage rates have been skyrocketing with inflation, and they're now actually at the highest point in the last 20 years since way back in 2002.
Yeah, a 30-year fixed loan is now averaging 6.8%. To tell us more about how these rates are changing the housing market, we're talking to our expert realtor, Alexa Kebalo Hughes, and Greg Ward from Ward-Kilduff Mortgage. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
Nice
Happy
to see you.
Here.
All right, so, Alexa, these mortgage rates are obviously impacting buyers. What are you seeing when people are looking to buy their homes?
Certainly. So the biggest thing is that people have to keep in great communication with their lender.
Right.
That's number one, right? So the communication has to be better than ever, just because we're in changing mortgage rate times. The second thing is that this is actually a positive in many ways, because there's not as much competition of buyers. So Greg and I were actually just chatting how there's not as many, there's not many multiple offers. So the buyers have a better opportunity, for example, to get FHA loans approved and accepted for an offer. So that's fantastic for people.
And you could refinance later, too,
Could
if
always
they go
refinance.
lower.
Right.
So you guys work very closely together
Yes.
with a potential buyer. And then, Greg, what does that look like for you in terms of making sure people get approved and how much they get approved for, and especially with this kind of inflation?
Well, so what we've been doing is we have to keep in contact with the people, especially that we talked to 2-3 months ago when rates were 5%.
Right.
Right. We got to make sure they're still approved. We got to make sure that nothing has changed with what they're looking for. Has their price point changed because now they don't want to spend, an extra $100 or $200 per month. So communication is key, for sure.
Now, Alexa, you mentioned that there are some advantages for buyers, and my guess is there are ways that they'd be able to save money down the line if they applied right now. Is that true?
Yeah, so that's, at the end of the day, it's all about supply and demand. And because we have a lot more opportunities for buyers to get in there, let's say with an FHA loan or even less down, it's not as competitive. Because remember, cash is always king. And then after that, a lot of sellers prefer like conventional, strong down payment amount. But now there's a lot more opportunity for people that may not be able to put as much down.
So what is that application process like for folks who are looking to go out there and purchase?
It hasn't changed. The best thing they can do is if somebody's looking to buy is to call us today if they're looking to buy in November and December, right? So we can look at everything, make sure everything's good, get everything squared away so that there's no surprises. That's the best thing you can do.
Are there
So
things
do it
people
early.
shouldn't do? I'm sorry, are there things people shouldn't do, though? Do it early, but are there some things you say,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, please do not do that on your mortgage application?
Yeah, for sure. Once
sure.
we've approved them, the key is you don't want to change much of anything if you can, right? You don't want to change your job. You don't want to go and spend all your money. You don't want to buy a new car, right? You want to keep things as vanilla and as similar as possible to when you started to when you close.
You don't want to open up new credit cards or anything crazy. Hey, I just got a car. It's like, oh, hey, we may not be able to close now.
Right.
I just got furniture
Don't
for
quit
the
your
house.
job 2 days before the closing. People do this stuff and they don't think you'll find out. And the reality is with the internet and everything moving so much quicker, we find out very, very quickly.
Right. Are these conversations that you both have with clients,
Yes.
though?
So it's all about setting expectations. So anytime we're working with any client, and in this case a buyer, we sit down with them, we consult with them, talk to them about their needs, and then make sure they have the right team. And it's all about the team, making sure, and Greg, we were talking about earlier today, it's not about how much you can afford, it's what's your comfort level within how much you can afford.
Right, you got to find the right spot. Right, because you could be pre-approved for a number that's larger than what you want to spend on a monthly basis.
Okay.
Right, so you got to find that right spot.
Sweet spot there.
Yeah.
All right, Greg, Alexa, thank you so much for your
Thank
time here
you.
today. Of course, all of this information will be up on the Channel 3 app if you're looking to potentially buy a home.
I already got one.
I know.
You know what the heck? I'll get one more. What's one more?
We're happy to help.
You were just complaining about how you didn't have a beach house.
I know,
so.
yeah.
We can make that happen
Talk to the
before
boss,
spring.
please. Yeah. Thanks so much, guys.
All right.